Welcome back, everyone. Super excited about bringing on my next guest. I love when we have all the newbies in here. We're live on Facebook, so I do want to say hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We'll share the show later on. My next guest is KJC. She's the owner of KJC Insurance. Welcome to the show. I want you to tell everybody first a little bit about yourself, what you do, and something that you're kind of excited about.
Well, Carol, thank you so much for having me on today. I'm so excited to be here with you. As mentioned, I own KJC Insurance. The sum of my life could be summed up with I was a stay-at-home mother. I raised 5 kids. I then went through a divorce. And after that divorce, was considering working in the wellness space, and someone had mentioned insurance. They said, you have the right personality to really help people. And I'm so glad that I listened to them. With that, I started my own company. I did have 12 years of experience before that with entrepreneurship with my ex-husband. And so I had that experience of building a business. My focus with the insurance space is health and life insurance. I categorize to, the majority of my business is for people that are under 65. I do help Medicare age clients as well, and then also group sizes. So entrepreneurs who have employees, I help them provide benefits for their employees.
Well, and a lot of people have a lot of questions today, especially, and it's not, I think because of the service that you offer, not everybody realizes, number one, that it is a free service to the people out there, but that you shouldn't try and do it on your own. Because you might be paying too much for something that you didn't realize could have been done differently, right? Or there might be something that you know, obviously you're a professional at what you do. And so I think people really need to listen, and that's what I love about my show the most, is about all the information that people can get here, and listening to these things and saying, you know what, I better do something about this.
Yeah.
So, number one, you work nationwide.
That is correct.
You do, it's a free service for the families out there. And you can check her out on her website. It's KJCinsurance.com. Write this number down. It's 480-521-4187. Now, I know you're really excited, so I want you to tell everybody a little about something that you got recently.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the things that I really take a lot of pride in as a business owner, and specifically working in the insurance space, is that I genuinely care about people. And, you know, you may encounter insurance agents out there who they'll call you up, they'll sell you a product, and then you never hear from them again, and you cannot get a hold of them. That is not the case when you're working with me. And the phone number that you shared, that's my cell phone number, and so my clients, they text, they call when they need me. I have several clients who have left reviews online. One in particular that I was really grateful for, and I love this client. Her comment was, we met some unseen difficulties this year with insurance and health care. Kendi was there for us, advocated for us, and supported us. She is excellent at what she does, and the best part, she's a kind, authentic woman. Highly recommend. And that was by Sharon
Well,
Kidd.
Congratulations. That's awesome. You know, we talked a little bit about why people shouldn't do these things on their own. When you call and talk to them, I mean, or they call and talk to you, how does it work? I mean, because most people call when either they lose their insurance, right? When's the best time to call you and talk to you about this?
That's a really good question. So, depending on the ages, let's talk first under 65. If you find yourself in a situation where you have lost insurance, you have 60 days to get into the marketplace. And you know, I personally did not know that when I lost insurance before I got into the insurance space, and I went uninsured because I did not know that. And so that's critical, if you lose insurance, to know you have 60 days to then apply to get into the marketplace. If you are getting close to Medicare, there's this window of time, and I recommend contacting an agent at least 6 months before you turn 65. Because there's a process that you have to go through to get ready to get into the Medicare space. It is such it's very confusing, and there are so many rules with Medicare that I highly, highly recommend working with someone like myself who is educated in that space, who can guide you and who will walk beside you as you adjust into Medicare.
Absolutely. And of course, I want to tell everybody what happened to my daughter.
Please.
Because she had that same thing happen, where she had lost the insurance from a company that closed, and then she went to a new place. They didn't offer it, right? But also when she didn't know what to do, right? And didn't realize that you only have 60 days. So when you realize it, now you got to get on the phone and you're really just rushing, and it doesn't have to be that way, especially when you have someone like Kendi who is experienced and knows how to ask the right questions for each person to know what probably would be right for them.
That's correct.
So the phone number to call her is 480-521-4187. She works nationwide, and it's KJC Insurance.com. And what she says is that she really, really, really genuinely cares about people.
Sure.
And in this business, it is a people business.
Absolutely.
Now, your approach to helping clients navigate the complexities, obviously of Medicare. Medicare is it's sort of on a breed on its own, right?
Yes.
There's just so much that people have questions for. But the same, though, I feel for just regular insurance too. Health insurance right now is just crazy.
Well, speaking of those who are under 65, if you are participating in the marketplace, then the marketplace is not the only place that you can get insurance. But the majority of people who do not get insurance through their employer are getting insurance through the marketplace. So in the state of Arizona alone, and that's where I do live, and that's where the bulk of my clients are located, there are over 100 plans alone on the marketplace. And so for a consumer, and yes, they can enroll by themselves. I don't advise that. But when you look at that, it is to the client's benefit to work with someone who understands insurance, who can have conversations that get the details about your health so that you can receive that feedback of this type of plan is going to work well for your situation.
Also, when you just go onto Marketplace or do something yourself, you have somebody here you can talk to.
Yes.
And things change all the time with people's health. I don't care if you are 65 and older or younger.
It's so true. That reminds me, I have a client who contacted me just the other day and just received such sad news about their son with a condition that has changed. And, while I couldn't make the change right then, I was able to give him counsel and feedback as far as this is what I would do. And then we will be prepared for open enrollment to make the change because you're going to need a change.
What's the number one question that you get asked?
Oh, gosh. So this is not going to be surprising, I don't think, to the listeners, is that how can we get our medical care costs lower, and how can we get the cost of insurance lower? And my response to this, and this is something that I am so passionate about, and most of my material, I provide a lot of education, is that if we want to have lower healthcare costs, we have to get healthy. The percentage, I don't have the exact number with me, but it's over 60% of the adult population in the United States has at least one chronic disease. And so if we want to improve the cost of our care, we have to be the change. And I know that this is something that would take massive effort. And as was mentioned in an earlier episode that you just did, people are waking up to this, but we may not see a lowering cost in the insurance premium, but to get the cost of care down, it starts with us.
You don't have to go to the doctor as much.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you can put your money into other areas.
Absolutely. But I think being proactive,
Yes.
especially with our health, and I think a lot of people do see that and are seeing that more and more.
Yes.
But you still have to be covered.
You absolutely 100%.
You have to be covered,
Yes.
because God forbid, just God forbid, whatever that is, then you have that peace of mind that at least you're covered. Work with somebody who is experienced like her. Her phone number is 480-521-4187. It's a free service to you, so it makes sense to talk to somebody local here. That's really important too. And the website is KJC Insurance Before we go to a break, what would you like to say to everybody out there?
Oh gosh, I would just like to advocate again the importance of working with an agent. It costs you nothing. The insurance company already has the commission built into the cost that you are paying already. And so it is in your best interest to work with a trusted, honest insurance agent.
And, to someone that really cares about you. And that's what I heard from you the most right there. When you said it, I really genuinely care about people. And we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. Her phone number is 480-521-4187. She works nationwide. Her website is KJCinsurance.com. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're still live in this room, so we're going to keep on talking, okay? Because the next thing that you wanted to talk about, and I think I've gotten to a lot of it, is about the life insurance, okay? And each one of these almost are components, and I'll talk to you about this afterwards, how you can dive deep instead of all over.
Yes.
And I'll show you what I mean by that.
If you want to ask more questions in regards to the health side, I am okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've thrown in a couple, but, I think that I wanna let this go the way you've got it, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
If we have a little bit more time or whatever, but I think we're doing pretty good. You?
Yeah.
Okay. Now and again, especially when it comes to life insurance and for the older folk, because they have more questions than anyone. And especially when it comes to life insurance, because, a lot of people think I'm too old for that, right? And I think that you might say something different to them.
Well, and have another option too.
Okay, and there are other options, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Are you having any questions for me? See the difference? A little bit smoother.
Hello, Instagram.
I think that what's most important, and again, I say it for almost every show, what I do love about the shows the most is that it does give people something to think about, right? And the information that they get, and that's what they tell me the most is when they hear. I love that it's just information, it's not political in any way, it's just, we're just talking here about things they might need or never heard that was, around, right?
Yep. And you're very easy to talk with, so I appreciate that too.
Oh, not a problem, thank you. And stories like the one that you had said, that they're good, they're really good, especially when it comes also to Medicare.
Yeah.
Or even life insurance. Well, I'm gonna let you kind of talk about it, and I wanna see what you say, because I have my own, so I know what I have, and I wanna see if it's the same.
Okay, it probably is not. I'm guessing not, but we'll see.
Probably not. The cool thing about this show is that all those commercials that you hear are all the people that come on the show. So my show is I offer those too. So everything about the show, 99% of it is my show, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen all the time.
I love that too.
Yeah. So welcome back, everyone. We're still live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. We're talking with Candy Chase. She's the owner of KJC Insurance. She works nationwide, and this is a free service to you out there. And one of the things that I know for sure is that people don't realize that your service, number one, is free. And a lot of people probably think that's too good to be true. And the other thing is that they don't even know you exist.
Yeah. Well, I do want to touch on that word free. I mean, I do earn a commission that is naturally built into the insurance policy. And so if you're choosing not to work with someone, you're choosing just to give that money to the insurance company and not have anyone to help you when you need help.
Well, let's talk a little bit about life insurance, because that's something else that you also cover.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about what you think about it.
Okay, so I think that there's a lot of misunderstanding about life insurance. There's a lot of messaging out there that would kind of poo-poo on life insurance and make it seem like it's not a necessary part of our financial portfolio. But I would say that having life insurance is an essential part of your financial portfolio. It's a conservative protection in the event that something were to happen to you. Now, speaking specifically to the demographic of someone who is possibly raising children, they have dependents. Life insurance is such an important piece of protection for your family. I know of someone who they actually had submitted their life insurance application, so it hadn't even gone through the full process of approval. And it was for a husband and a wife, and they had a little baby. And unfortunately, the wife was killed. And even with the fact that it had not finished the finalization with that policy, they were honored that policy. And with the death of the spouse, the husband was able to take the money. And you know, when you're dealing with such a heavy situation like that, the last thing that you're gonna wanna have to worry about is who's gonna take care of my kids? How am I going to just navigate through this financially, that change? Life insurance takes that part of the grief process away.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to someone who is older, it becomes a little bit more tricky.
Okay.
And we're always advising people to get life insurance when they're younger.
Right.
Because the cost of insurance is gonna be less. Your chances of getting insured are higher. As we get older, unfortunately, we become more sick. And if you have a pre-existing medical condition, it becomes increasingly more challenging or more expensive to get life insurance. So the advice with life insurance is always to get it as early as possible. But if you are an older person, it does not mean that you cannot have that option. It's best to speak to an insurance agent and to have a conversation. Because before you submit an application, and I did have this happen to me once, where I had met with a woman who was, actually she was my age, and I'm 50. And I just asked some general health questions to her. And she had told me that she had had a couple of issues, and I said, I do not think that it is in your best interest to apply for life insurance. We need to look at other options. If you apply and get denied, that potentially is going to disqualify you later from applying too. So there are circumstances when, especially as you're getting older, some things health-wise can be resolved, and then you can apply and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
are there different types of life insurance?
yes, and that's a good question. So there's two basic types. One is called term, and term insurance could be likened to renter's insurance. You're paying a monthly premium. Term is it's less money. And basically what term does is if you die, then your beneficiaries are going to receive however amount of money is with that policy when you die. The other policy is called whole or permanent. Whole or permanent life insurance does cost more, but I love this product. And the reason I love it is because there are so many different things that you can do with that policy. In addition to having a death benefit when you die, you could have access to cash there's a cash value that grows. And as a business owner, I have a policy that it's indexed, and I have taken loans against that policy as a business owner to help me grow my business and then repaid it. As I get older and I get into the retirement age, I'll be able to take loans against that policy tax-free.
So the best thing to do when you're listening to these things is to have a consultation with you.
Yes.
Because you don't know what's right for you, and everybody has their own story.
Yes.
I think it all starts with that.
Mm-hmm.
But having something
Oh, absolutely.
is so important.
I
You
know.
shouldn't have nothing, right?
Yes, yes. And you know, if you, I have a couple of clients who are older. And by older, I mean they are, they're beyond retirement years. One is over 70. They did not have a life insurance policy. They also did not want to leave the burden of the cost of their burial expenses on their family. And so what they did was they purchased what is called a final expense policy. And they pay a premium every month, and this policy, they set a dollar amount of what they want to have available to their family when they pass away. And there's not the same type of underwriting that goes into those type of policies.
Is that different than one, let's say, that wants to pay for their funeral, let's say, beforehand, and so that it's
Yes.
already all paid for? Are they different, or one
They
and
are,
the same?
they are different,
They're different?
yes.
Okay.
I think what you're mentioning, that is something that I believe you have an arrangement with the funeral home.
Okay, right.
And a final expense is a policy with an insurance
So it doesn't
company.
matter, you can use it where you want.
Yeah,
And
the
it's
family.
for the family when you've passed away.
That is correct. They're gonna receive, just like with a life insurance policy, they're gonna receive a lump sum of money when the
Right.
person passes.
Well, you know, and what would you rather,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean,
For them, you know, when you think about it, with all of this,
Mhm.
obviously, peace of mind is number one. But also, you have to remember that you're gonna be passed away.
yeah,
So it's not you,
right,
it's your family.
yeah.
And a lot of people I don't know what it is about people, they're funny.
Well, I think it's a challenging thing to kind of lean into the fact that we're mortal, and that death is a part of being here. And that's just not always an easy thing to lean into or have a conversation about.
Well, it's important, really
Very,
it is.
very
So
important.
her phone number is 480-521-4187. And now before you came on, you were telling me that you have another sector of your business that
Yeah.
you do, and I would like you to talk about it.
Okay, so, one of the things, being in the insurance space, I hear so much from my clients of the situations that they're dealing with their health. And also personally, I have really struggled with my health over the course of my life. And especially as I got closer to my 50s, I developed a chronic condition. I leaned into the traditional side of medicine, and I'm glad that it's there because it serves a purpose. But it was more based on treating my symptoms and not working to help heal. And I started doing my own research. I started doing a lot of work, and it led me into this space of understanding that healing can happen with our body. And so, in addition to the insurance space, I do consultations to help people who want to have a mix of the traditional side with more of a holistic side, working with those two together to get answers that can ultimately bring health. My tag name is the Modern Day Pioneer, and I believe that the trajectory of our future it's not set in stone. We can change it.
Well, number one, our bodies were meant to heal from the
Absolutely,
get-go.
yes.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, we were just talking about it earlier, is being proactive with your own health.
Yes.
And I believe it's not listening to the television and calling those numbers and telling your doctor about that drug that you just heard. It's really far better to be doing things more on a natural basis, right?
Yes.
But you'll find out a lot of what you just probably the way you eat or some of the things that
Absolutely.
I don't really know everything, but
Yeah.
I just know that there is so much that you can do on your own,
Yeah.
and it's true. And I think it's a good thing because it kind of goes hand in hand
Yes.
with what you do.
I love it so much. It allows me to educate my clients both in the insurance space because that is necessary, but also in the space of, look, we are our own advocates.
I love it. And the best thing is that you get to have her to help you navigate through it all,
Thank you,
which is
Carol.
the one thing that everybody needs the most. Her phone number to call is 480-521-4187. She's nationwide. She really genuinely cares about people. You can check her out. It's KJC Insurance.com.
Thank you, Carol.